Hi Year 2, welcome to our next writing lesson. Today we're going to continue to look at storm unicorns and I'm really looking forward to that. Before we do, I just need to make a quick correction to something I taught yesterday and I apologise, I got it wrong. Now I said ebony was a white colour when actually ebony is a dark colour. So in our writing, in our text, it says most storm unicorns are an ebony colour. And our image showed a white unicorn. Now that is because not all of them are an ebony colour. Some of them can be white, but most are an ebony colour. And ebony is a dark colour, which is close to black. Now I want to show you what we look like. So this is what we had yesterday, and this is the image we saw. But the most that are ebony colours can look like this if they are dark storm unicorns. Okay, so I just wanted to make that correction so that everybody knows what the correct term for ebony is and the use of it, and what our storm unicorns could look like when they are mostly like that. Okay, now let's jump straight into our lesson. And we're going to begin by doing our actions. So we need to be nice and loud, clear, as we rehearse the actions with the text. So we say it at the same time. Let's go. Storm unicorns. The storm unicorn is a type of unicorn that is very rare. Physical appearance. A storm unicorn has the body of a horse and a long horn, full stop. The horn usually has a spiral shape and sticks out from the middle of the head, full stop. Most are a beautiful ebony colour with flashes of gold and silver that look like lightning, full stop. As a storm unicorn moves, it sends out showers of tiny electric splinters, full stop. Habitats. Like the common unicorn, the storm unicorn lives in forests, full stop. They are very shy and therefore not often seen, full stop. During the daytime, they sleep under bushes or curled up amongst ferns, full stop. At night, the storm unicorn emerges and, if you're lucky, can be seen in the moonlit pools, full stop. Diet. Storm unicorns have a fairly limited diet, full stop. In the main, they live on leaves, grass, and other forms of vegetation, full stop. However, they can be tempted with apples, and some have even been found to eat sugar lumps. Full stop. If you find a storm unicorn, you must never, ever feed it potatoes, as they are allergic to them and it will make them seriously ill. Full stop. Fun facts. The last known sighting of a storm unicorn was in 1673 by a man called Dr. Dapper, who claimed that he saw one whilst walking in the woods, but he could not prove it. Full stop. The most amazing thing about storm unicorns is that if you meet one, it can bring you great luck. Full stop. For this reason, many people hope to catch a glimpse of the most beautiful, fiery creature. Full stop. Okay, today is Tuesday, the 23rd of February, and today we are learning to use expanded noun phrases. So we're going to understand what an expanded noun phrase is. You have used them before, so you might already know. And we're going to use expanded noun phrases to describe storm unicorns. Our star words today are adjective. Adjectives are describing words. Noun. Nouns are the names of people or objects. Features. Features are different parts of something. And describing. And describing is when we give detail about something. Okay, so before we go any further, I want us to have a think about the features, so remember the different parts of a non-chronological report. Now I've got some different prompts here to help us find the different features. First of all, we've got a title, we're going to have subheadings, technical vocabulary, interesting sentence starters, good description, so using those adjectives, using the present tense, remember what's happening now, and facts. Okay, so information that is true about the subject. So let's begin with title. You might want to pause me now and see if you can spot these parts, features of our chronological report, non-chronological reports, or you might want to go along with me as we go. So if you want to pause me now, you can and spot them, and then we'll go through the answers, or we can just follow along straight away. Okay, so beginning with a title. Now the title comes at the very beginning. It is bold, underlined, and in the middle of the text. Then we have subheadings. Now subheadings are those little introductions and titles to different paragraphs. They are on the side of the page, but they are still underlined. So unlike the main title, which is in the middle, subtitles are on the side and they are just introducing that next part of the text, whereas the title introduces the whole text. Then we've got technical vocabulary. Technical vocabulary is really specific words about something. So, for example, in our first sentence, it says a storm unicorn has the body of a horse and a long horn. Now, for example, a technical vocabulary here might be body or horn, because those are parts which are really specific to the storm unicorn. We might want to say in our next sentence, the horn is usually a spiral shape and sticks out from the middle of its head. Again, technical vocabulary would be spiral to describe specifically what the horn is like. The next thing we're looking here, interesting sentence starters. Now for that, we can look at habitats. Now, as in our part about habitats. And this interesting sentence starters is when we're starting it with a part like a subordinating conjunction. So here we've got like the common unicorn, or in our next sentence, we have during the daytime, or the next one we would say at night. Those are interesting sentence starters compared to saying storm unicorns live in forests like the common unicorn. We say like the common unicorn, the storm unicorn lives in forests. Next, good description. That's when we're explaining really specifically again. So for example, let's go back to the describing the physical appearance. Most are a beautiful ebony colour. That's using those adjectives, beautiful, ebony, to describe the colour of the horn or of the unicorn itself. Next, we're going to have things in the present tense. Okay, so it's happening now, it's continually happening. So let's look at the first sentence to explain that. The storm unicorn is a type of unicorn that is very rare. It is happening right now. If it was in the past, you would say the storm unicorns were a type of unicorn, but we're writing in the present tense, so we're saying that a storm unicorn is a type of unicorn. And lastly, we're going to include lots of different facts. So to explain that, we've got that in our physical appearance when we're giving facts about what they look like, in our habitat when we're giving facts about where they live, in the diet section when we're giving facts about what they eat, and then the fun facts when we explain a surprising fact about the storm unicorn. Fantastic, let's move on. I've got a question for you. Now, if we are to help people spot a storm unicorn, remember we're writing for a book, people who are going to be looking for storm unicorns. What must we tell them? Should we tell them their names? Should we tell them a description about their features, the different parts of their bodies? Or should we tell them about their favourite book? Remember, this is if someone is trying to spot a storm unicorn. They're looking for them. Pause me now and decide which thing must we tell them. And when you're ready, press play. Okay, we need to describe their features. If they're going to spot them, that means they're going to be looking for them. So we need to describe what they will see when they see a storm unicorn. So we're describing their features. If they know their names, that's not going to help them when they're looking for them, only if they actually knew them. And again, with their favourite book, that information is not going to help them spot them by sight, is it? Okay, right. Now, if we're going to be describing their features, that's when we're going to use expanded noun phrases. Now, a phrase is just a few words put together, and an expanded noun phrase is when we have a noun, but we also have adjectives. So it's when we have an adjective and a noun. We might have two adjectives before the noun. So when we're thinking about storm unicorns and the features of a storm unicorn, we want to be describing what their mane is like, so their hair around their head. We want to be describing their hooves. So we've got mane, we've got hooves, which are the hard parts of their feet. They're like really strong nails. We're going to be describing their tail, which is like their mane. It's still hair, but it obviously comes out at the back. And lastly, their horn, which is one of the most specific things about a unicorn, is that they all have a horn. Now, how can we describe these features? Well, we're going to do it using expanded noun phrases. So to do this, I'm going to follow my steps to success. The first one is to identify a noun to describe. Now I'm looking at the image I have, and I could either describe the mane here or I could describe the horn, but I'm going to choose the mane to begin with. Then I need to do my second step, which is decide on two adjectives to describe the noun. Now, when I think of that mane, I think I can see it sparkling, and I also think that because it's sparkling, it must be very bright. So I've got two adjectives, sparkling and bright. My third step is to write the adjectives and separate them with a comma. Remember, I always do that. If I've got two adjectives and I'm listing them, I will use a comma. So let's do that. So I'm going to begin here. I've already got sparkling written out for me. I've decided on the sparkling, comma, bright. The sparkling, bright, and my fourth step is to finish by writing the noun. The sparkling, bright, I was describing the mane. So the sparkling, bright mane. Fantastic. Now I'm going to see if I can actually compound that into another clause and make an even longer sentence to now describe my horn. So I've got the sparkling bright mane, and now I want to describe the horn. So I'm going to follow my steps of success. I've identified the noun I want to describe is the horn. Second step is to decide on two adjectives to describe the horn. Well, how might you describe the horn? I think I like that it is sharp. So I want to say that it is sharp and sharp and silver. And I finished by writing the noun. The noun was a horn. Now, I mustn't forget to separate my two adjectives with a comma. Okay, so the sharp, oh my goodness, the sharp silver horn. Now, let's move on to another one. This time, I might make a mistake and I want you to see if you can spot it. So, first step, identify the noun to describe. Now, my image has changed this time. I'm going to describe the hooves. The hooves. And I need to decide on two adjectives to describe my noun, which are the hooves. And remember, the hooves are the kind of feet of a unicorn, and it's the same for horse or cows. And I'm going to say the tough, because I think hooves need to be very tough and hard. So I'm going to say the tough. The tough. What else do they look like? They are white. I could say, if I imagine whether the durability of them, if I'm thinking about materials like I did in science, I think they need to be strong. So not only are they tough, but they're also strong. The tough, strong hooves. I finish by writing the noun. Hooves. Full stop. Good. Now I'm not quite sticking to those gaps, but still I've got my sentence. The tough, strong hooves. Let me follow my steps to success, see if I've followed them all. Identify, decide on two adjectives, write the adjectives, and finish. Have I followed every step to success? I hope you spotted that I was missing a comma in between my adjectives. So I need to have a comma here to show a separation. Okay, let's do another one together. This time I want you to get some pen and paper or pencil and paper and write along with me. So if you want to now pause me whilst you find your pencil and paper, then do. When you're ready, press play. Okay, so let's follow the steps of success together. Step 1, identify a noun to describe. What noun can you spot? What can you label from the image? The tail. The tail is the object that we will be describing, the noun that we will describe. Our second step is to decide on two adjectives to describe the noun. Now, again, I would like you to pause me now and think of two adjectives to describe the noun. I don't want you to write them yet. I just want you to decide on two. Pause me now. Okay, let's do the third step together. We need to write the adjectives and separate them with a comma. Now, I've decided to have two adjectives, long to describe the tail, the long, comma, flowing. Those are my two adjectives to describe the tail. Now I want you to write out yours. Don't forget to use a comma. Pause me now, and when you're ready, press play. Good, and now we need to do our last step, which is to finish by writing the noun. Remember, we were writing about the tail, so we will finish our sentence by saying the tail. And how do we finish our ideas? With a full stop. Fantastic. Now you can finish your sentence. Pause me, and when you're ready, press play. Okay, so I want you now just to double check that you have, as everyone has got their noun that they're going to describe as the tail, that you've decided on two different adjectives to describe the tail, that you've separated them with a comma, and then you've finished by ending it with the noun and a full stop. Fantastic. Right, what we're going to do now is an independent task. you're going to be writing sentences to describe the main features of this should say storm unicorn, of the storm unicorn. Okay, so we're going to be thinking again about the hooves, the tail, the mane and the horn. Now, if you want to challenge yourself, I've got some different sentence starters here to begin our sentences, and I'm going to model what one of those sentences could look like now. Fantastic. Okay, so I've set up my page, I've written the date, I've got my steps to success written out for me, and a word bank with my challenge sentence starters. Okay, so again, you might want just to begin your sentence, a storm unicorn has, and then go in to describe the different nouns, but I'm going to begin with these exciting sentence starters, and I hope you join me with that. Okay, so the first thing that I'm going to model is hooves. We're going to describe the hooves. Now I'm going to begin my sentence starter. I could choose any of these. Again, you might want to say a storm unicorn has and then go on, but I'm going to begin with most. Okay, so I'm going to tick it off because I know I've used it. Most. Now, what am I writing about? Most storm unicorns. So I'm going to continue. Most storm unicorns. I'm really careful there with my handwriting. Most storm unicorns have, now I'm going to be writing about their hooves. So most storm unicorns have, they own their hooves, don't they? So we're going to say they have. Now I need to follow my steps to success as I write my expanded noun phrase. So identify the noun to describe. I'm going to describe the hooves. Then I'm going to decide on 2 adjectives to describe the nouns. I've decided what my noun is. Then I need to decide 2 adjectives. Now, I liked what I said before about them hooves being tough and strong, but this time I want to describe that they're really clean and shiny. So I'm going to say spotless to describe how clean they are. And instead of shiny, I might want to say bright. Just like I described the mane, I'm going to use the same adjectives, pinch it from there and use it to describe the hooves. So my 2 adjectives are spotless and bright. Now I need to write the adjectives and separate them with a comma. I can't forget to separate them with a comma. Most storm unicorns have. Now I don't quite have enough space to write spotless there, so I'm going to jump down to the beginning of the next line. Remember, leaving a line. Spotless. My P drops down, my T is tall. I don't need to cross it until I finish writing my words. Spotless. Nice suffix there. Spotless, comma, bright. Nice tall T and H and T, and dropping down my G. Bright. What was I describing? My 4th step. Finish by writing the noun, hooves. Full stop. Now, we also need to describe the tail, the mane and the horn. Now, you've got 3 other sentence starters to write those. You might want to use most again and write your own one about hooves. Oh, I should read through my sentence because I've spotted a spelling mistake. Most storm unicorns have spotless, comma, bright hooves. Now that says hooves with special friends like hooves, but my spelling is hooves, hooves, poo at the zoo. So I'm going to put a cross through my O and add, in fact, I'm just going to cross out my whole word of hooves and write it again at the top. Now I really like to see the improvements I make in my writing because it shows how much I'm learning. So hooves. There we go. And I've got the correct spelling above. Now, when you're doing your writing, again, you can use these other sentence starters as you're writing about the hooves, the tail, the mane and the horn. Okay, so I want you to write a sentence about each feature, the hooves, the tail, the mane and the horn, and I want you to include an expanded noun phrase. Okay, so that's when you follow those steps to success to write an expanded noun phrase. Good luck, Year 2. We can't wait to see your sentences on Seesaw. See you tomorrow.